and where do young founders approach private investors for seed funding?
Yeah, I think we didn't know that. I didn't know how to approach seed because this is the first time I was raising a seed stage funding back in 2017. I'll tell you how we went about it, and probably there are at least 7-8 other opportunities that exist in India today. In terms of opportunity, these are broad domain, pockets of opportunity, and each of them has hundreds and 200s of opportunities within them as well. What we did ideally is we had appointed a banker, and you wouldn't hear somebody appointing a banker at a seed stage, but we had an early stage banker who were starting their journey as a investment banking, and they said they had good connections with funds, and they said, hey, we will help you raise funds. So we had a banker who actually helped us connect with potential investors, angel investors and VCs included, and we used them to raise the fund. So that is one way. But of course, these days 99% nobody goes to an investment banker, and investment bankers also don't prefer to invest their time in an early stage funding, because the time it takes to raise a seed stage funding of $500,000 to $1 million, say probably from getting the first pitch deck to landing the entire money in your bank, it takes 8 months to 1 year. It's probably the same for a series A, B, C startups as well. The ROI that the banking firm gets is probably 1/10 of what you get in a higher deal. So the investment bankers also don't prefer it these days, but that's how we went about it. I'll tell you, I think there are 7 to 8 ways in which I would say that opportunities are available, and early stage founders should probably try all of it or majority of it in parallel, because you never know what will land. The first and simple and foremost is, I think before you even know where to approach, you need to understand what is the amount you're raising. Typical values that you raise in a seed stage would be, say, around $500,000, or now it has gone even $1 million is not considered, it's considered as an average seed round of funding. Mm-hmm. Yes, there are companies who raise $2 million, $5 million seed round of funding, but they are very rare startups. Either the founders have 2-3 serial entrepreneurs, or it's such a massive idea that the VCs are putting big weight into it. Otherwise, the usual deal size I've come across is $500,000 to $1 million. Now, if you want something lesser than that, just $100,000, etc., there is the friends and family round that you can do, which is before the seed. It's called as pre-seed, or like a bootstrapping kind of investment. So you can raise 30, 40, say maximum $100,000 within your friends and family itself, and that can be at a very simple terms, or the terms can be put postponed till the time you raise an actual round of funding as well. But it's not uncommon to see friends and family participating in your seed round of funding as well. When you stitch a seed round of fund of 500 to 1 million, you want to probably invite your friends and family as well, either directly or most usually, as I told, they would have raised $100,000 from friends and family, and then they let them participate in the same round, because they wouldn't have negotiated any terms and all that for just $100,000. Angels is definitely one other important channel for you to raise early stage funding. Angel investors in India have grown a lot. As startups have grown, startup founders have grown, they have made a lot of wealth, and every founder, including me, would believe in giving back to the society, and also monetary. We believe that the biggest ROI that you can get out of all financial instruments in the market today is probably startups. It's not just monetary, as I told, it's also something that gives us personal satisfaction as well. So you would see a lot of founders setting up angel funds of their own. They in their individual capacity, most of the Series C and above startup founders today invest as angel investors. So they are probably just an email away or one LinkedIn connection away. So I think it's easy for you to find them, which I think you should do to get an angel round of funding. Now there are angel syndicates as well, like AngelList and Kickstarter and Indian Angel Network, and there are a lot of angel syndications where you don't have to go to every angel. You get one-stop access, one platform which exposes multiple angels to you as well. So angels are very easy way for you to attract fund, which combines with crowdsourcing or crowdfunding that I told as well. And that's what AngelList and other platforms do. They crowdfund kind of from different angel investors and let you give a raise funding as a platform. The other one is accelerators and incubators. It's grown a lot today. A lot of funds have accelerators. There are only dedicated accelerators. Government bodies have incubators. Corporate companies have accelerators set up. Depending on the domain you have, I think a lot of these corporate companies like real estate, e-commerce, Flipkart has an accelerator. Every big company out there has an accelerator, right? So accelerator is a great way for you to not just raise the early stage of funding. It gives you a lot of business access, and a platform for product worthiness in the first place as well. If you're early stage, how do you deploy it? Funding is, you have to get potential clients agreement, get a POC done, which is what an accelerator will help you do, right? If it's a corporate accelerator. But a lot of other accelerators not just give you money, they give you certain skills that you need as a founder as well. Probably you're struggling in hiring, the accelerator helps you get people. You need mentorship in how to prepare a go-to-market strategy, because as a tech founder, you're not too much aware of marketing and growth hack that you want to do for your GTM plan. That is something they can help with. So accelerators serve as a great way for first-time entrepreneurs to not just raise money, but also get these additional benefits as well. As I told, corporate strategic funds exist as well, which you can dip into. The last, of course, is the VCs and going with the bankers or directly approaching VCs as well. As I told, a lot of blue chip funds today have dedicated a small $50 million, $100 million funds dedicated for early stage investments with a ticket size of 500 to $1 million. And I know personally itself, I think easily 30-40% of early stage funds have come in the last 3-4 years. Right? So a lot of investors have, or venture capital VC fund managers have started funds of $50 million, $100 million checks size, only to focus on early stage investments. They don't invest in series A, B, and C unless, of course, it's a follow-on investment. But this is something that was not there much 5 years before, right? There are dedicated funds who only do early stage investments. You approach them. It can be either a blue chip fund setting that, but I know at least of 40 funds who do only early stage investments, and that's about it, right? So I think it's easy for you to go get access to them, and they understand early stage risk and the stage and all of that. So it's easy for you to get across them as well. The last is, I think, fellow founders. I mean, founders, one way founders itself can invest as angels, but if you know founders have raised funds, that's the easiest way for you to reach out to any investor or other angel funds, etc. Because more than a banker putting a word to an investor, because there's a commercial interest there, a fellow founder among their portfolio recommending a startup has a huge value. For example, if I were to go back to my investors and refer a company, they would probably treat it with highest priority compared to organic deals they get from their funnel. So tap into your network, see if you know first degree, second degree, any founders who have raised funds. They'll be very glad to put you in touch with investors and recommend, and also give you some free pro bono advisory on changing your pitch deck and certain things that are needed as well. So it's pretty exhaustive, and I know that it's easier said than done, but I've gone through it, so I can definitely vouch for it that from when I was raising seed round of funding 5 years back to now, the opportunities are much higher, the channels that I told you are much wider, and the access to these channels are much easier. So with some bit of effort, I think you should definitely be able to land a few meetings.